Welcome back. Your time is 4:37. I'm Martin Daubney and this is GB News. Now, campaigners have been outside Parliament this afternoon today as MPs debate whether assisted dying should be legalised for terminally ill people in the UK. Pardon me. It's after more than 200,000 signatures were added to a petition backed by Dame Esther Ranson, who has stage 4 lung cancer. And those who oppose a change in the law say vulnerable people could be pressured into ending their lives. Well, I'm delighted to say that I'm joined in the studio now by someone who has sat on both sides of the fence on this debate, author and campaigner against assisted dying, Paul Carroll. Paul, welcome to the show. Fascinating story. So tell me why initially you were in favour of assisted dying, and then why did you change your mind?
I can take this back about 6 or 7 years. I'm 68 now, so I was 62. My partner's actually 16 years younger than me. And being practical people, we were planning wills, we were getting our affairs in order. And we said, what about if I ever became ill? With the age gap, that was the inspiration. And I said, imagine I'm 80 and you're in your mid-60s, and say I had a chronic illness or had Alzheimer's and wasn't able to recognise you. Yeah. Would that be fair on me to expect you to care for me? Mm-hmm. And because we were in good health, it was a sort of like, yeah, I'd like, well, look at Dignitas. And actually, joining Dignitas is so simple. You could join your local library as easily. It's just one form and one payment.
And then what led you to your awakening where you thought, no, this isn't the right thing for me or indeed anybody who I love?
Well, so it was like an insurance policy. Tick the box, signed up, in the drawer if ever needed. So it goes 2 or 3 years. We get to 2019. And the first thing that happened is that my partner's mother, who was 69 at the time, was diagnosed with cancer, which was very distressing for the family. She was treated very, very well, had chemotherapy, but unfortunately it didn't work. Mm-hmm. And her decline was very rapid from diagnosis to actually passing 11 months, mm-hmm. which was very distressing for us all. And so, in some regards, would that question of assisted death come up at that point? And the interesting thing is it never did, because we did not want her to go. And she did not want to go. Right. The life force in her was incredible. And as a family, we witnessed this, shared this, right down to nobody's pretending, assisted or unassisted or natural death is anything but traumatic for all involved. But there was there were blessings to be received from that. We were there with her on vigil. She was incredibly well looked after, palliative care. And we realised, actually, we've signed up for Dignitas. And no, we wouldn't. This has been rather traumatic, but it's been quite wonderful as well. And it helped with the grieving process thereafter. And
tell me, you started to write a book. You did a huge amount of research into Dignitas and many of those who've been through it. What was it about that started to concern you?
Yes, well, I started on a new novel, and I was looking, and maybe the story came from that. And I decided that this story was going to be about 4 individuals who had decided. In this version of the book, it's slightly in the future in the UK, and assisted dying had been legalised. So it's all made very, very easy. You go to a nice sort of clinic and have a 5-day stay before the end. So obviously, as a writer would, I started researching the ramifications. And to do that, I looked very closely at the countries where assisted dying was already legalised. And what I found rather shocked me. And concerned me.
It was actually very, very easy, or the law had changed.
So easy, and this is the parliamentary debate, which is a non-voting debate today, but I think there will be an actual vote of conscience on this in the next parliament. The stipulation is that 3 things. We will have assisted dying if it's legalised, and it will be for patients facing end of life, terminal illnesses, who have made their own decision, very, very important, and who have a very short life expectancy. So they're three things, two of which can't actually be really quantified. Yes, 2 or 3 doctors might be able to reach a consensus. That really shocked me, the ease of which the parameters widened as soon as the law came in.
Okay, superb. Thank you for joining us, Paul Carroll, and sharing your story. And quickly, I believe you've got a book out.
Yes, I have. It's called Shaking Hands with Elvis. It's dark humour, which is ironic in terms of a very serious topic.
Great.
But it will help any reader to make their own mind up on this subject.
Fascinating, and that debate is going on right now in the Commons. We'll bring you news on that as it comes through. Paul Carroll, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Now, still to come this hour, beer, bread and biscuits. 3 of the nation's favourite staples, certainly mine, they're under fire. We'll find out why next. I'm Martin Daubney on GB News, Britain's News Channel.